You know that specific kind of quiet. It's not peaceful. It's heavy. It's 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. You're sitting 3 feet away from the person you love, scrolling through your phone, but you aren't reading anything. You're just waiting. Waiting for them to look up. Waiting for a signal. But they're staring at the TV, eyes glazed over, physically present, but emotionally miles away. And suddenly a cold realization hits your stomach. You feel completely alone in the same room. Your mind starts racing. Why does this keep happening? Did I say something wrong? Is this just what long-term love feels like now? Am I too much? Or are they just gone? Here is the truth that nobody tells you. The distance isn't because they stopped loving you. It's because their nervous system has decided that closeness equals danger. You are not failing at love. You are not too needy. And this is not a sign that you chose the wrong person. Every couple who has ever loved deeply has stood exactly where you are standing right now, wondering if the bridge has burned out beneath them. By the end of this video, you will understand the 7 hidden signs of avoidant personality dynamics, not as flaws to fix, but as survival strategies to decode. You will learn how to stop chasing and start connecting, turning that terrifying silence into safety. Let's get into it. Most couples believe that when their partner pulls away, it's a rejection of them. They think, if I just try harder, if I just explain my feelings better, if I just give them more space, they'll come back. They treat avoidance like a puzzle to be solved with logic or patience. But the real truth is much deeper and, frankly, much sadder. Avoidance isn't about you. It's not even really about the relationship. It's about a nervous system that learned, usually decades ago, that dependency is unsafe. When your partner withdraws, their brain isn't thinking, I don't love her. Their body is screaming, I am being engulfed, I am losing myself, I need to escape to survive. When safety leaves a relationship, the love doesn't disappear. It goes underground. It hides behind walls of indifference, busy schedules, and logical arguments. What looks like stonewalling is usually someone who has been so overwhelmed by emotional intensity for so long that silence is the only protection they have left. If you keep pushing for closeness when their alarm bells are ringing, you aren't building intimacy. You're confirming their deepest fear, that love is a trap. So we aren't going to talk about how to fix them. We're going to talk about how to create an environment where their nervous system can finally exhale. Because until they feel safe, they cannot connect. First, let's talk about the phantom intimacy trap, or what I call the love bombing hangover. Most people in relationships get whiplash from this pattern. In the beginning, everything was intense. Texts all day, deep conversations until 3 a.m. It felt like you'd known them for years. But the moment things got real, when you defined the relationship or shared a vulnerability, they vanished. Here's the psychological truth. For someone with avoidant tendencies, intimacy triggers a subconscious panic. The closer you get, the more their engulfment anxiety spikes. They didn't pull away because the spark died. They pulled away because the spark got too hot, and their instinct is to run before they get burned. Imagine this disconnect. You send a text saying, I had such a nice time last night. I'm really feeling connected to you. The avoidant partner reads this and their chest tightens. Their inner monologue says, oh no, now there are expectations. Now I owe them something. I need air. So they reply 6 hours later with, yeah, it was cool. Contrast that with connection. If they felt safe, they might say, me too. I've been thinking about our conversation all day. And when you recognize this isn't rejection but regulation, the panic in your own chest starts to settle, allowing you to stop chasing and start grounding. Second, we have to address the logic shield, where emotions become data, not debates. Most couples fall into the trap of trying to argue their way out of feelings. One partner expresses hurt, and the other responds with facts, timelines, and corrections. "I didn't ignore you. I was in a meeting." "You're overreacting." It feels like a courtroom, not a partnership. This happens because the avoidant partner views emotions as chaotic threats to their stability. By intellectualizing the feeling, they strip it of its power. They aren't trying to be cruel, they are trying to regain control. But to you, it feels like your heart is being dismissed as irrelevant data. The disconnecting version is when you say, "I felt lonely when you didn't call," and they respond, "Well, I told you I was busy. You know my schedule." The connecting version? They pause. They bypass the logic. They say, "I hear that you felt lonely. That wasn't my intention, but I'm sorry it landed that way." That's the shift that turns a relationship that feels like a negotiation into one that feels like a refuge. Third, watch out for the deactivating strategy, specifically flaw finding as defense. Most people don't realize that suddenly noticing your partner's annoying habits is actually a defense mechanism. One day, the way they chew, their laugh, or their choice of friends becomes unbearable. You find yourself keeping a mental scorecard of their imperfections. This is classic attachment theory in action. It's called deactivating. When the avoidant partner feels too close, their subconscious mind scans for reasons to justify pulling away. They magnify small flaws to create emotional distance. It's not that you became flawed, it's that they needed space, and their brain provided the excuse. In the disconnecting scenario, you snap, "Why do you always leave your socks there? It's so disrespectful." They retreat further, thinking, "See, she's critical. I need to protect myself." But in the connecting version, you notice the irritation rising and ask yourself, "Am I actually mad about the socks, or am I feeling disconnected?" You choose to reach out instead of lash out. And when you do that, the walls between you start to come down without either of you having to say a word. Fourth, consider the independence illusion, or the belief that "I don't need anyone." Most couples admire independence, but here it's weaponized. The avoidant partner prides themselves on